A very good morning to you, and welcome to my first Monday messages of 2022. I hope you've all had a wonderful break and enjoyed being with your families, or being on your own, or being with loved ones, or not. I hope that you've had a lovely time over the last couple of weeks while I've been also having a lovely time with family and friends. Good morning, and thank you very much for the thumbs up. Always very helpful. You're very welcome. So, a happy new year to all of you, and I wish you all the best for a very healthy, holistic, vibrant 2022. And I suppose my message today is very much kind of where I am at the moment, which is just having a good look around online and seeing all the wonderful opportunities actually to get help and support with goal setting, planning your year, identifying, what you want to achieve over the next year. And I wanted to just inject a sense of just caution and mindfulness, consciousness of whether this is actually the right time for you. Because January, of course, in the Gregorian calendar, if that's what you're aligned to, is the beginning of the year. The calendar year running from January to December, and that's, many of us feel very aligned to that. I don't actually feel very aligned to that. I'm much more in tune with the Celtic wheel, the Celtic calendar, if you like, now in later years. And I still feel that at the moment, because I'm in tune with what's going on in the natural world around me, that I'm still gathering in. I'm still just gathering information, looking at things, watching things, listening to things, and picking out what it resonates with me, what feels right for me. So I'm kind of percolating and dreaming a bit and nurturing so that I can be at my most creative a bit later on in this new year. So I would encourage that, first of all, before you rush into setting those goals or targets or thinking, what am I going to achieve? What am I going to do this year? That you are mindful of, is this actually the right time to do that? Or maybe it's time to still be gathering information, to still be just getting on your resources together so that you can be at your sparkling best a bit later on. I think also that unless we are able to really identify how we want to feel going forward on a day-to-day basis, but and I know that doesn't always stay the same, but predominantly, what are our really valued feelings about life, about our relationships, about our work, our families, anything really, unless we can attach some kind of meaningful, heartfelt feeling to what it is, whatever it is that we're trying to achieve or to reach, then those goals often fall by the wayside because they don't really land with us. They don't really resonate. When we're watching movies or reading books or even, reading a bit of writing online or listening to a video, unless something really touches us, really gets in and lands in our emotional selves, then we can almost forget it. It doesn't mean anything to us. So somebody telling you, oh, you must, you must achieve a certain level of income this year. If you don't do that, then, you're a failure kind of thing, which is obviously, I think nobody is going to say that outright. But sometimes language can infer that unless you hit these targets, unless you hit these doing lists, that somehow you're less than. And we try to do these things, but they're not really resonating with us. Perhaps not even so much the goal or the target, but maybe the method doesn't resonate with us. So very easily we go back into our old habits, and then we beat ourselves up because we haven't done what we set out to do. So before you do anything, I would be asking yourself, just how do you feel at the moment? Are you feeling that you still want to gather in information? You don't have real clarity over what you would like from this year, in which case that's okay. Keep gathering those bits of information, because things will land in and you will get clarity as long as you spend some time focusing on that. So journaling at the moment for me is really important. And first of all, looking back at my year, last year, 2021, and really focusing on the positives that came from it. So I'm not saying forget, any negatives, but I'm asking you to really accentuate the positives, if you like, to go back, reflect. What was really great for me in terms of how I felt in 2021? What made me feel good about myself? Healthy, vibrant, adaptable, proud, that I've achieved something, that I am healthy, if you like. And just think about what it was that helped you to feel like that, and ask yourself, well, do I therefore want to do more of that in 2022? How could I build on that and either keep it up as a practice, whatever it might be, or how could I expand it so that I actually feel more of those feelings? And when you identify how you want to feel in your day-to-day life, or month by month, whatever it is, then you will get much better clarity over what action plan might be right for you in order to feel those feelings. So I think the first thing to do is to reflect, to go back and just identify which things felt good to you, that you felt, yes, this is something I would like more of. And equally in that process, you might find that there are things that you identify very clearly that you want less of as well. Also a really positive bit of mindful practice is to be clear about what you don't want. And sometimes that's a great place to start. So accentuating the positive is definitely what I would invite you to do. And if the year, looking back on the whole year, seems too much, maybe, if you're somebody that keeps a diary or, keeps some kind of journal, just looking back at that and reminding yourself of how far you've come, what you've managed to get through, whether that's relationships, perhaps, any difficulty in maintaining good, healthy relationships, and that you've managed to do that, or maybe it's work in progress, but how have you done in that regard? How have you done in your work? Whether that's paid or unpaid. How are you feeling about what you do for a living, or what your purpose is in life? And really pull out all the things that bring a smile to your face, that bring a sense of pride and achievement, and that make you feel good about yourself. And then commit to feeling more of whatever that feeling is. And then you can ask yourself when you're ready, well, what things kind of get me close to feeling like that? Sometimes just actually reading a really good book that resonates and making sure that you do that on a regular basis can be part of that. Sometimes it's a form of exercise or movement. Sometimes it's making sure that you get outside. Sometimes it's just ongoing work to be conscious of your triggers and what perhaps presses your buttons in relationships, and asking yourself, well, what resources could I pull in that will help me to master that, to take full responsibility for it, and to help me to have more meaningful, more close, productive relationships, and not just go into habitual responses or behaviours, because that's not ultimately how I want to feel. So, yeah, and I would also encourage everybody to do whatever they can to start to take as much responsibility as you feel you're able to take for your own health. And that's not just your emotional health, because everything I talk about is about that, obviously, but also your physical health, and that you do whatever you can to mind yourself and maintain a good base level of health, but also to use medicines that help you to feel however you want to feel, whether that's vibrant, healthy, able to live the kind of life that you want to lead. And obviously for me, homeopathy is very much part of that. And, learning to use homeopathy yourself or any other kind of natural medicine will make a massive difference to many parts of how you lead your life and how you feel about yourself and about health and dis-ease. And if any of you are interested and don't already know, that I do have an online support community for anybody who's wanting to know more about using homeopathy. And you can get more details of that by clicking on the link with this video. So that's an aside, but mostly I wanted to encourage you to just think, well, it's not necessarily right for me to go rushing in and start setting goals and putting a plan together right now. Maybe it's better to just keep gathering information, because there's no race. Nobody's going to standing over you with a whip saying you must have everything sorted out in January. Otherwise, it's all going to unravel and, your life is going to be shit. Excuse my language. It's not. There's no race. It has to be right for you. And there's no point putting together a list of things that really in your heart, are just, they don't really resonate with you. And you're more likely than not to abandon at least half of them by the end of the month. So take your time. And first of all, look back at the feelings that you can identify made you feel however you want to feel on an ongoing basis, and then see if you can do more of those and do less of the things that don't contribute to that feeling. So I hope that's helpful. It's a start to the year. Obviously, sometimes that is really difficult to do by yourself, and that's where a really good coaching session can come into play, just to have somebody ask the right questions, to ask you good questions that help you to identify what's right for you. Nobody else, just you. And then you're much more likely to be able to sustain whatever it is that you choose to map out for yourself for 2022. And if that takes you all of January to do, or even all through February, so be it. Doesn't matter. No one's judging you for it, least of all me. So if that kind of makes sense to you and you want to know a bit more, then do get in touch or comment. Let me know if that makes sense, or if you think it doesn't make sense. If you've got any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. That's about it for this first Monday message. And I look forward to seeing you all again next Monday, 10 o'clock, as usual. And have a fantastic week just gathering in ideas and information and doing a sort of internal, what's the word? Vision board, if you like. You don't have to do an external one straight away. You can just be gathering in images and colours and ideas and senses, but really things that resonate with you personally. Okay, so I will leave it a couple of minutes and see if anybody has any comments. And no, I don't think anybody is. That's okay. I know it's a bank holiday, certainly here in Ireland. So if you're watching on the replay, then just let me know that. And I'm still more than happy to comment or feedback to anything that you might want to contribute. Actually, I'm just going to leave you with a lovely quote. Well, I thought it was a lovely quote. So maybe this will inspire you for the year. It's by recently departed US writer Joan Didion. And she says, "I'm not telling you to make the world better, because I don't think that progress is necessarily part of the package. I'm just telling you to live in it, not just endure it, not just to suffer it, not just to pass through it, but to live in it, to look at it, to try to get the picture, to live recklessly, to take chances, to make your own work and take pride in it, to seize the moment. And if you ask me why you should bother to do that, I could tell you that the grave is a fine and private place. But none, I think, do there embrace, nor do they sing there, or write, or argue, or see the tidal bore on the Amazon." I hope that inspires you. See you next week, and thanks so much for watching.